Welcome to online art class lesson number 2. Today we'll be working on a piece inspired by the artist Claude Monet and the paintings he completed of the Japanese bridge over the lily pad pond at his home. If you want to learn more about Monet, there's a mini art history lesson about him attached to this video. So I'll do a quick rundown of supplies and then we'll move on to painting. So for this exercise, you're going to want at least the red, blue, yellow, and white paints. You can make pretty much any other color out of these 4, so you don't have to have mixed paints already. You can do it all yourself. If you don't have acrylic paints like I'm using here, you can also use watercolor, or if you're working with smaller kids, you can do finger paints and just get rid of the paintbrushes in this lesson and paint with your fingers instead. So other than the paints, you're going to need a cup of water, you're going to need some paintbrushes, you're going to need a towel, or cloth or something to wipe your brushes on, and then you're going to need a palette. You can also use a paper plate or an old plastic plate that you're not planning on eating off of. You're also going to want a little bit of tape. I'm using washi tape, but you can use painter's tape or masking tape. To all the other painting supplies, you're going to want to get yourself a canvas, or you can get a heavy stock paper like cardstock and tape it to a board for a while or to your table. Here I have it taped to a board on my easel just so it's easier to videotape for y'all, so you can do anything like that. And we'll get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tape off the shape of a bridge across the middle of your painting. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Block off the areas that you don't want paint to get on so they stay white. If you're using watercolor paints and you happen to have what's called masking fluid, that would work as well. It just blocks off the area so that paint can't get through to the paper. And you can do this on canvas or any other material that you're using. So I'm ripping my tape into smaller strips so that I can get more of the shape down, because it's more curved than it is straight. So we'll just keep doing this until we have the shape of a bridge. Painter's tape would probably work better, but this is a little bit more narrow, so it allows for a little bit more variety, I guess, and putting it down into the shape that I want. Two that look pretty much identical. Once you got the main shape taped off, you're gonna get pieces of tape about as wide as your bridge is different, and then you're gonna cut that in half so that you can make the spools on the bridge. So we're gonna keep doing that as well. You can do as many or a few of them as you want. Okay, and then when all your tape is down, go ahead and press everything down just to make sure it's very stuck so it won't come up in the middle of your painting. And then we'll move on to painting. So the thing with the impressionist style painting is it doesn't make an exact replica or anything. It's more of how something feels to whoever's painting it. So you don't have to make any very exact shapes. One of the great things about impressionist painting is until you see the whole picture, it doesn't make any sense, so no one part of it has to be perfect. So to do the bridge that Monet painted, you're going to need a lot of green paint. So go ahead and mix some of your blue and your yellow. On my palette I have one that's 2 parts yellow, 1 part blue, 2 parts blue, 1 part yellow, 2 parts yellow, 1 part blue, 1 part white, and then equal parts yellow and blue and 1 part white. So I'll be working with those, and then a couple of combinations of the 4 different ones, and then the additional colors I have. So just grab your brush and start putting paint down. can be really choppy big strokes, or if you want it, I'm going to do a little bit of the water here. You can do a little bit more blue and do sideways strokes like this, so it looks like water. And you can use any size brush. I like how the big brush makes more swoops in the water, so it looks like it's moving a little more. To add highlight to your water, you can just go back in and enter some white into that to make it look kind of like reflections, and just fill in your painting like that. So I'm going to keep going on this. Little plants on the river's edge right now, so they're all pointing up. If you think about how a plant grows, it's a little wider at the bottom than it normally is at the top. So to get that effect, start at the bottom of your plant and just swoop upward in quick motions, and it should give you the kind of different thicknesses that you're going to want to make plants. Okay, I'm going to finish filling in the water section here. Blue or more green, however you feel like it. The water is probably the best thing to finish first because you're going to want to add some more stuff on top of that near the end. So I'm going to finish up the water. Attention to how you treat light. Near the banks it's going to be a little darker, so that's why I'm using this darker color paint at the edges. And then towards the center you're going to have a little bit more light because that's how the light is hitting it. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more plants on the edges now, and then we'll work on the top. we had a slight technical difficulty. My phone camera decided that the storage was full about 20 minutes in, and I didn't realize that until about 30 minutes in. So this is what your painting should look like when it's done. A few things I did while I thought the camera was running. I added more detail into these weeping willows on the side. I finished filling in, and then I added the lily pads with the water lilies here at the bottom. So now we should be able to take off the tape, and see the bridge shape underneath the paint. So let's do that now. Okay, so we have the bridge, and then you just want to take off, if you lined the edges, go ahead and take that off now too. And your painting is completed. Go ahead and post a picture of you with your painting, or just your painting, or send it to our library email address. We'll put it in the end of the video. We'll put a slide with the address, and share your art project with us. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.